Hello, hello, fellow pirates. Welcome to Coma Pirate Radio, where we slide our boats together, throw some ropes, tie some knots, talk about some maps, and hopefully, together, one of us will find the buried treasure. Will it be you? Will it be me? Who knows? Who knows? Let's do it together and share. This is Manuscripts of a Mystic. This is just me, Mystic Eve, reading my journal of the day this morning. All of these messages come from the sun. At least I'm laying in the sun when receiving and writing down these messages. So, this is July 9th. Azul, my dog, came to me last night in a dream and sat in my lap. He's been missing in the physical world for a few days now, but I feel he's still around me, and he came to me last night. John will be at Coma in 6 days. I'm really excited about working with him and him working with Coma. It came through the tantric tattoos that I do, that the designs are yantras, the symbols of magical energies. This morning during TikTok, Justice and the Moon came out through 8 of Swords. Yeah, hold on. Let me double check that. Yes. 8 of Swords. That's why I write everything down, because my memory is shit. Where'd you say that fucking X was? What tree are you talking about, dude? I can't remember. Justice and the Moon. To look within to see the truth. Look at the moon for guidance in justice. Boundaries. Our own boundaries are our internal galactic laws for ourselves. It's not your laws, it's my law. The inside laws for my body. This body has laws. I am not going to do this with my body. Period. No, that's a law. I'm not going to cross it. I am going to obey my body's laws. I abide by them in this dimension, and I found that looking within is the way to look out. The dorje. So above, so below. You know? The triangles remind us that there is an upward-facing triangle, and there is a downward-facing triangle. Let's keep them in mind. Let's test your visualization and imagination. The triangles, one facing up, one facing down. Let's put them together, and we get a star. If we put them just like end to end, butt to butt, we get a diamond. If we put them point to point, let's just dip our little points together, point to point, we get a dorje. So above, so below. Let's think about these symbols, the star, the diamond, and the dorje. If you can keep them in mind at the same time, oh my God, keep these triangles like moving in and out over each other. To grok something, if you've read Stranger in a Strange Land, to grok. To understand more than just with your mind, to understand with your whole being. There's been a lot of focus on swords lately and the mind, but also balancing that out with the water, with the hearts, with the cups. from the mind to the heart. Now look at a dorje in our bodies as the mind into the heart, and the points crossing. Where do they cross? Let's feel it. Through learning how to deep dive into our chakras, from the crown chakra down all the way into the root chakra. It's so deep, so deep. Let's hold your breath and dive. Touch the bottom, and then you feel that burn because you got to take that breath. So you push off of the bottom and you go back to the top. Swim, 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 swim. Yes, yes, energy. This is energy. This is energy that is free. It is free to move from the top to the bottom to the top again at will. Now, the dogs, our pets. My friend's dog Murphy is laying behind me and is communicating with me a lot about boundaries. He's not a very, he don't like to be touched that much, and I've had another dog like this, actually. I mean, if you really look back at all my dogs. No, Zero. Zero was an exception. He really was. Anyway, the dogs, learning about freedom of dogs, their freedom as sentient beings. Some dogs want to be loved and touched and pampered and petted and take me to the groomer all day long, and some dogs are like, it's like killing them, and they're like, no, I don't want to go, no. And to understand and to grok the difference between those two energies. The idea of all sentient beings having freedom to do as they please. The yin-yang shows us the flow of this balance in a symbol. The energetic balance, the flow, the swim, the watery, the black, the white, the light, the dark. Swim to the bottom of the black and back up to the top of the white. The surface in the middle, the bindus, the two yonis of opposite color in the middle. Oh, baby. That symbol has turned me on since since the first time I saw it. First sight, baby. First sight, and I was in love with you. For real. And I wrote it down. Okay. Living in harmony and knowing the proper timing. The numbers are the holders of the time. So pay attention to the numbers. Also, what they mean to you. Not what they mean to me. Not what they mean to who the fuck knows on YouTube. Bless all your hearts. Oh man, no. I mean, I know. You know it when the channeler is channeling your energy because you're just like, yes. Everything you just said is like hitting my heart, soul, space center, right? Like, yes, you are tapping into my energy, obviously. If you know your energy really well, you know if somebody else is tapping into it because it's anyway. It's important for you to read your own symbols because God will talk to you in a different way because you are God. And so to talk to your higher self, to talk to your God, you have to use your own language. Whoa, light language maybe? Ooh, yeah. I really liked it when I found my own light language, and I was like, oh, babe, your voice it turns me on. Like, what? What? Okay, now, moving along. I see you, and I feel you. But, that might not be where I'm at the time. There's that too. The energies of, oh, I mean, I hear you. Yeah, but no, I'm going to scroll because, that's just not my energy, man. I love you. More power to you. I might give you a heart, but I'm not going to stay on that channel for very long because I know that I must move. So let's do the cards. Because my hand, oh God, yeah, my hand was getting really tired. And like, I'm a tension writer. So like my hand, when I'm writing in Gnosis, my hand gets really tense and you can see in my finger, like I'm squeezing the pencil. I've always done this. And I've always been very aware of it. One, because I do have a big dip and a lump in my finger, and I'm like, meh. And two, I'm a writer. I love to write, so it's something that I deal with on a regular basis, right? So anyway, what came to me was coils, and then my hand felt like it was a spring. And then I realized that the springs, if you're going to dive all the way to the bottom, remember that breath, that hold it, and then that burn. Once you touch that bottom, you want to get back to the top as soon as possible. Generally, it depends, right? But springs, when you want to move fast, you spring. You use that tension to spring you forward. It can, in my body, I know, I feel, that's what I'm talking about, right? Like me, I feel this and know that I have learned how to deal with it because, it's a lot of tension and it puts my body under a lot of stress. So I have to transmute it. And I have learned to do that through dance, movement, obviously. Like, oh my God, like just move your body, dude. Like flow arts, hello, yoga. Anyway, catapulting yourself back to the top with the spring. And what does that look like? Well, it's like when you feel the tension so much that you can barely stand it, you go lay out in the sun and burn it off. Or you go turn the music up and you fucking dance it off. Or you put some like singing bowls on and you pull out your mat and you do some yoga. Or, there's lots of stuff. You do it the way you want to do it. Go take a run around the block, go get on a bike. Something with your body, that's the point. Obviously. Thank you, Captain Obvious. Yes, the energy of going backwards to push you forwards. It's like the swing of a bat, right? And I played, yes, I was a softball player in middle school. I never did high school sports because then I was like, fuck that. I'd rather be in my room or in the woods. But in middle school, I really liked it. I really liked softball. I liked the competitiveness, and I liked the swing, bada, 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 bada. I did. I love it. Anyway, okay. You know, one of my favorite things was at the end, slapping hands with the enemy all in line. Now let's feel that energy for a little while. I fucking loved it. I was like so excited. I had to tell myself not to pee myself. You know those dogs that get so excited they pee all over themselves? I have never peed in public. I swear. I'm really thinking about it now, actually, but yeah, no. Oh, God. Okay. All right. We've got to do these cards, okay? So in the center, I was pulling the cards and debating on whether or not I was going to shuffle, but let's do the shuffle for the sound. You know, sound healing. And, I mean, I am shuffling the cards that I used earlier. And timing. When you're free from time, it don't matter if I've done this before. I'm doing it again. And in the center, we have, first, the song, this all happened at the same time. So how I wrote it down is kind of like one of those things. So the mantra, this has to be done in the sun. This has to be done in the sun. As I was shuffling, so I had to write it down. I was like, okay, can we get to the center now? Can we get to the point now? Thank you very much. The sun, this has to be done in the sun. And we get the 5 of hearts. Now, instantly, we are between the Pope and the Devil in the number 5. Oh my God. And of course it's water. Oh my God. So here we are on the surface. And I felt that, you know, your head, feel that, visualize that head on the surface of the water and you're treading water, right? Spin it around in your head because you don't really know which way is up, which way is down. So it's more like the sideways. Now think about that image for a little while. There's a very classic one that I love of a man putting his head through the portal. We thrive on the surface of the ocean, not too deep, not too far from the stars. I love them. The stars. As we look up into the stars, we're on the surface, remember? So you're looking at the stars and you're just like, I love you. But we don't stay there because we also love the depths. Just as much, if you want to be really balanced about it, you know, the balance of the energy, right? The energy. My Pluto tells me this. As I look up and as far as I can possibly feel, the farthest I can feel. I don't know about you. No, that's not true. I can feel way further than Pluto. Oh, he's so emotional. He's like, I'm the last one you feel. Yeah, but what about Sirius and other, like, you know, galaxies? And he's like, well, you know, Pluto. Deal with it, Pluto. Don't take it personal, right? Okay. I feel this Pisces energy, the energy that the sun tells me when to dive into the depths. You know, my face gets sunburned. Like, it burns my face. The sun is like, and I'm like, I can't take it anymore, or I'm going to get sunburned. Now, that is interesting, too, the people that, like, really, like, how are you going to let your skin burn like that? Can't you feel it when you turn over? Or when it's too much, you move away from the sun, i.e. you dive down into the dark and the cool waters down into the waters, and the cool so deep. Remember your breath. When you go deep, remember your breath. So we're going to go ahead and dive down, obviously, into the south. We're going to take that deep breath. And in the south, we have 8 of hearts. Of course, we still are in the water. Of course. And that number 8, oh my God, the 8 was like instantly I felt that dolphin tail, that motion, that holding on to the fin. Hold on, because it's going to go fast. And it's slippery because there's a lot of water around us. You know, when you're deep, deep, deep in the 12th house. And when you come back to the surface, it's that internal breath that's like everything. You know, it's like the 8 is right before the 9. Okay, in a race, you're racing. The finish line is 10. The 9 is like right there when you just give it up to God, whether or not you're going to win. And the 8 is the number, is the placement of when you give it your fucking all, when you dig down deep within yourself and you say, you're going to run faster than you've ever run before in your fucking life. You are going to put everything into it. The number 8, all of it. Okay, so we now shoot back up into the north. What do we have in the north? We have the Joker. The Fool. Of course we do. The Fool has no number. It is 0. And those of you who know me and who follow me now know who 0 is. My beloved Buddha dog. See, the Fool is paired with the world in that it is the 0 and the 10, right? The world in the tarot is the 10. The Fool has no number is 0. So we pair these two together and we really understand that, yeah, the Fool has the whole world, right? He's free. His utter freedom, utter freedom. The Fool has utter freedom in that he don't give a fuck, guys. It's not even in his DNA to give a fuck. It's like, dude, I'm on the spectrum. I don't give a fuck what you think of me. But I love me. I love me. I love me. Understand also the Fool is accompanied by a dog. Hello. Of course. The freedom of the dogs, the freedom of the Fool, the freedom of the world. Let's think about that vibration. As anarchists, as pirates, as outcasts, as alchemists who use, or I like the word worship, all of the elements. The elements. The blessed heavenly hounds. And then I immediately think of the cats, because my cat side, gets agitated when I talk about dogs too much, because then my cat's like, oh, yeah. What? Why are you talking about them dogs? The dogs. Like, psst, psst, psst. It's like that really 100% natural collective consciousness of the energy between cats and dogs. Cats and dogs. I mean, they are together. Oh, they're paired. Of course they are. But there's a very big difference. And to love them both is to be dog and cat fluid. Yes. So let's go to the east. In the east, with the rising sun, we have the Jack of Swords. Now, the Jack is young, is the knight, he's the page, he's the in-between, he's the teenager, and he's holding a sword, ready to fight, without that much practice, because he's a kid, he's not a 50-year-old fighter. He's a 15-year-old fighter, which the 15-year-old fighter, let's definitely not underestimate, okay? Pluto, Mars. Do not underestimate a teenager holding a sword. Now, let's think about warriors of the light and what that means to be warriors of the light, and the energy of the teenager and the I don't give a fuck if I've got a certificate on the wall. I don't care if I'm a black belt or not. I am going to hold this sword with everything I have and give it my all in whatever strengths and whatever creativity and whatever energy comes out of me, whether it's art, music, flow arts, passion, books, fucking all of it. Love both sides dearly. But Pluto and Mars, my God, they can get scary. Pluto and Mars together are covered in blood. Really, really. That's scary. I don't want to be, no. So the sun tells me, okay. It can be mud, right? It can be red mud. And then I'm like, oh, see, I like being covered in mud. Yes. Covered in blood's kind of too scary for me. Thank you. No, not for me. But, well, oh, Jesus, stop. Pluto, stop. Okay. The color red. It's the color that matters, right? Like, you can slide back and forth between whatever you want, but it's just being bathed in the color red. Your root chakra, right? Seeing red again. Seeing red again. Ooh, Jesus. Let's go to the West. Let's wrap it up, you guys. In the West, we have the Jack of Hearts. At the end of the day, the kid with the sword is jumping in the bed with the kid with the heart. Oh my God. The sacred masculine and sacred feminine. Hello. Sacred union. Oh. Ooh, baby. Yeah. Oh, baby. No force at all. No tension. A yoni calling in the lingam. The lingam filling up with red blood to enter the heart space. The yoni. Well, it's down further than that. It's deeper than my heart space, my love. It's in my pants. And then I started thinking about the image of the sword in the heart. And then I was like, yeah, but what about the arrow in the heart? And then I was like, oh, that feels different. The sword is such a masculine pushing forward, cutting the heart open. It has like a broken heart feel, right? Like sword in my heart, man. Shank. But the arrow in the heart is what lovers scribe on trees. You've got the fucking Cupid involved, and all of a sudden it changes. Why does it change? It changes because think about the energy. When you're shooting an arrow, you have to pull back first. You have to touch the bottom first. You have to gain tension, the taut string. You have to pull it back as far as humanly possible to shoot the arrow forward. So it has to enter its feminine before it enters its masculine. Before? Yes, my love. Before. The yoni has to open for the masculine, or it doesn't feel the same now, does it? Just thrust into me, shank. I mean, unless you have a contract and you do that because you like playing that energy with each other, I suggest BDSM is the way to go if you want to constantly, or not constantly, but if you like the energy of the sword pushing into a slightly closed yoni. Like, you know, if you like that activity of pushing and having a resistance. Okay, stop, Eve, this, you know, sacred sexuality though, like I do teach that shit, but you know, my Saturn is in Leo and she's just like, you're a grandmother. You shouldn't be talking to these kids like this. And I'm like, yeah, I should. And then, anyway, the sword is masculine. So with the arrow being both, it becomes gender fluidity. To, you know, for Cupid to really throw that shit into somebody's heart, because, you know, I mean, oh, my ear's ringing. Oh, wow. Okay. Should I say it? Does that mean I should say it or shouldn't say it? What do you think? Magnetizing with the human beings that can vibrate at the same time, at the same vibration, with no tension, with fluidity, is the end goal. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'm really enjoying all of this immensely. Whether you're traveling mentally or physically, may it be in love, light, and shadow. Because as we all know at this point, you know, we got to balance those out. And don't forget the lube, unless you need wax. Have both in the bag that the Fool carries is all of your magical items, right? You need something to make you slippery when you're getting through a tough spot, but you also need something that makes you sticky when you need to hold on to something. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day. Ciao.